Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I've got another watch review for you, and this one is rather special, at least to me. And the reason that is this watch was actually made in the city that I grew up just outside of. That city is Detroit, Michigan, and actually it's funny enough, this watch was made in the Argonaut building, which used to belong to General Motors, which my father used to be an executive at a while back. So it's funny, this watch is kind of a piece of history for me. And as a kid, I actually always had the dream of having my own watch company in Detroit. I love Detroit. It's got to be my favorite city in the U.S. I don't live there anymore, but I miss it and have fond memories of it. It's a far nicer place than the news would have you believe. And architecturally, it's spectacular. If you like turn of the century and Art Deco 1920s architecture, it's just, Beaux Arts, Art Deco, I mean, just wonderful examples. Anyway, let's get to the watch. Just wanted to give you a preview of why this watch is special to me. This watch is a Shinola. This is from their Runwell collection. This particular example is 41 millimeters. The name Shinola may ring a bell to some people, especially in the US. If you've never heard the expression, can't tell shit from Shinola. Shinola is a old shoe polish company that was defunct and was brought back to life. The company is owned by a group that was actually founded by the founder of Fossil Watches. They are, as I mentioned earlier, based in Detroit. They manufacture all of their watches in a building called the Argonaut building, which if you're into architecture, I suggest you look it up. It's beautiful. And they actually name their movements after the building. This has the Argonite movement in it. And what makes these watches special is, as I mentioned, they're put together in Detroit. They actually say Detroit right here on the dial at 6 o'clock. Above it says Argonite 5021. Argonite reference to the building, the Argonaut building, where they are made. And that building was designed by Albert Kahn. It's a spectacular piece of architecture. Again, highly recommend you look it up. The 5021 is a reference to the movement. The 5021 is actually a Ronda movement. It is hand-assembled by fellow Detroit people in the Argonaut building. However, its components are sourced from Ronda in Switzerland. It is a quartz movement. In this particular model that I have here, which I believe is the S00, I can't even remember. It says on the back here, S01002, something or other ending in 62. S01, 3 zeros and a 62. There you go. There's the model number. I know you're so excited. So this is the chronograph feature. You have a 30-minute counter over here at 9 o'clock. Here's your counting seconds, your day of the week, traditional chronograph, upper pusher to start it, and to stop it, bottom to reset. Pretty standard. This does have a beautiful crown on it. It's got a little lightning bolt on it, the Shinola symbol. It's a screw down crown, which I was pretty surprised about. Really well made. The machining on this watch is beautiful. This watch is, I just think it has a wonderful design. It's got a very, at least to my taste, a turn of the century look to it. It very much speaks to Detroit, the city in which it's made. Some other cool key features of this watch. If you flip it over, and as I briefly did earlier, you'll notice that the watch has a pretty nice looking case back. You'll see the Shinola symbol. It says Shinola. Also on the back, besides the big Detroit at the bottom at 6 o'clock, you'll see a serial number and a movement number, or excuse me, a model number. Apologies. One of the, I guess, concerns you may have with this watch is the case is not one that can be easily serviced in terms of getting access to the battery. This is a quartz piece, as you can see by the ticking of the hand at 3 o'clock. And basically this center section, it looks like it'd come out, but it's actually not accessible. I looked at an engineering schematic of the movement, and it appears that these 4 screws on the outer edge of the case come out, and that the top part of the case will pull off, and then you could actually access the battery. Obviously Shinola would prefer you send the watch into them for servicing. I always monkey around with my own watches, so I'll probably try to take it apart myself when the time comes. But don't recommend that for you at home unless you have a lot of experience working with watches. Crystal is sapphire, nice touch. The lugs here are very thin. They're very old looking. I love the way these lugs look. They're, to me, very turn of the century, as are the Arabic numerals. I think are very classical as well. The bracelet is very fluid, doesn't bunch up. It's very well made. Unfortunately, it does have push pins in it, which I'm not a huge fan of. It'd be nice if they were screwed out links, but given the price point, understandable. And price point, by the way, on this watch is, I believe retail is $900. You get the watch for $900. You also get a beautiful wood presentation box and some good manuals and a little bit of history of the company as well. It's a very nice package. If there are those of you out there that are really into Apple, Apple takes a lot of pride in their packaging. Shinola clearly takes similar pride in their packaging. The packaging tells the story of the company and the watch, and it's very well done. You can see the two-piece case design here. Size is 41 millimeters. I have about a 7.5-inch wrist. Has a traditional butterfly clasp, which I like a lot. A little difficult to put on a camera. It's got really good presence. I'm used to wearing larger watches, so I'm still getting a little used to the size, but 41 millimeters for the majority of the population is a perfect size. For reference, if you've seen my Rolex Daytona video, this watch is roughly the same size. So perfectly wearable size, great for everyday use, and just an overall great watch, and the fit and finish is phenomenal. Again, and you notice the fact that it's made by a bunch of good people in Detroit, Michigan, to me is makes it worth the price point. I understand I have a romantic attachment to Detroit, but it's something that we can be proud of, built in the USA. Yes, it's a Swiss movement pieces, but I think it's a tremendous piece. And if you have any interest in things made in America, and you know, especially a city like Detroit with engineering history, if you want to support the people of that population, and buy something that was made by some good, hardworking men and women, I highly recommend you pick one of these up. There's quite a few retailers that carry these things. Shouldn't have a hard time finding them in the high-end store like Nordstrom's, for example, or online. Thank you guys for watching my reviews. Really appreciate it. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. And we'll leave you with the chronograph running.